NBA teams up by 14 points or more in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left or less are 977 and 1. Before tonight, they were 977 and 0. But the Aaron Nesmith game happened for the Indiana Pacers as they pull off their third insane comeback of these NBA playoffs. Game 5 against the Bucks, game 2 against Cleveland, and then game 1 against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And when it comes to this game, you have to start with Aaron Nesmith and Jalen Brunson. And when I say Jalen Brunson, you probably think that I'm going to talk about how, we scored 43 points on 15 to 25 shooting, and he got a whole bunch of calls. And no, the biggest stretch of that game is TJ McConnell draws the fifth foul on Jalen Brunson, and the game's close. And it's like, all right, like Pacers, they have an opportunity here to make a really big push, and they didn't. Jalen Brunson goes to the bench with a little over 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks respond by going on a 14-0 run. And when that happened, it felt like the game was over. Knicks were up by 16. There's 7 minutes left. Jalen Brunson is on the bench. You know that when he comes back in, he's going to find a way to score because the Pacers pretty simply hadn't stopped him all night, and they didn't. Like I said, 15 to 25 shooting for 43 points. But it didn't matter because Aaron Nesmith is just an absolute dog in every sense of the word. Every team in the NBA needs a guy like Aaron Nesmith on their team. Just a dude who never says die, a dude who accepts every challenge and just never quits. He ends up going 6 of 7 from 3 in the fourth quarter. He missed his first one, so he made 6 threes in a row in the final 4 minutes and 45 seconds to get the Pacers back into the game. There were obviously some other guys who scored. Halliburton hit a 3. I think Obi Toppin had a layup. I think Andrew Nembhard had a layup. But most of it was, we're going to give Aaron Nesmith the ball because he's flaming hot right now, and he's just going to knock down a million threes. And that is what got the Pacers back into this game. I thought that the biggest stretch came from the 51-second mark to the 22-second mark. That is 29 seconds. In 29 seconds, Aaron Nesmith hits back-to-back threes. The Knicks lead goes from 6 down to 2, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, man, like the Pacers really do have a chance. Like they are going to have an opportunity to, send this game to overtime and maybe even win it based off of everything that we had seen from them. And 8 seconds later, Karl-Anthony Towns misses a free throw. Pacers down by 2. They run it back down. No, excuse me, down by 3. They run it back down. They give the ball to Aaron Nesmith because who else are you going to give the ball to down 3 in that spot? And so OG Anunoby fouls him. They send him to the line. He makes both free throws. Down by 1. OG Anunoby ends up getting fouled with, a little over 7 seconds left. He goes 1 of 2 from the line. Oh, it's a 2-point game. Tyrese Halliburton comes down, gets the switch he wants, goes at Mitchell Robinson, realizes, wait, I probably don't want to challenge Mitchell Robinson at the rim. So he turns around and he sprints to the 3-point line, does a 180. He shoots it. It hits the heel of the rim. It bounces straight up into the air, falls back down through the net, kind of Kawhi Leonard against the 76ers-esque. Kind of, not really. It didn't hit the rim a million times and then go in, but same idea. Sends the game to overtime. And this Pacers team is just so, and then obviously they go on to win it in overtime, and I'll talk about that here in a second, but this run for the Pacers is insane. Since the 96-97 season, teams that have trailed by 7 points or more in the final 50 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime in the playoffs are 4 and 1,702. The Pacers have 3 of those 4 wins. All 3 of them have come during this playoff run. Game 5 against Milwaukee, Game 2 against Cleveland, and then obviously Game 1 tonight against the New York Knicks. And it makes sense that it's this Pacers team that's doing it. They are tough. They are resilient. They never say die. They just go at you, and they just do not quit. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. First and foremost, it's the players that they have on their team. Like Aaron Nesmith he's going to play as hard as he can all the time. Like the way that he's playing in these playoffs is exactly how he plays during the regular season. He's just balls to the wall, putting his body on the line, fouling like crazy, and hoping that the officials don't call it. Watching the battle of the Jalen Brunson foul baiting and the fact that Aaron Nesmith fouls a ton. watching the referees deal with that all series is actually going to be kind of comical. And so, like, you have guys like him. Tyrese Halliburton is incredibly tough. I know people don't like him, but he's tough, and people don't like him because he beats their favorite team. That's why people don't like him. But, like, he's the same guy who just kind of stays with it. Like, that's just who this Pacers team is. Coach Carlisle, their head coach, obviously very well experienced, but also same thing. Like this guy just never says die. He keeps his players in it 24/7. That is the identity of this team. They just keep on coming, and eventually they break through. And sometimes it's really late, and that relentlessness and that resilience and that toughness breaks through, and all of a sudden you have crazy comebacks like what we've had in these playoffs so far from them. And Aaron Nesmith, it is so fitting that he's the guy who led this comeback because of all the guys on this roster, he personifies toughness and resiliency better than anyone else. Tyrese Halliburton had a quote earlier in the season where he says, like some people say that like they'll die for things. Aaron Nesmith will legitimately die for this. And I think we saw it tonight with the way that he defended Jalen Brunson and the way that he hit big shots and the way that he drug this Pacers team back into the game. And then Andrew Nembhard, obviously Tyrese Halliburton hits the big shot to send it to overtime. And then Andrew Nembhard is actually the one who brought him home. There's going to be a lot of discussion around Tyrese Halliburton, the fact that he hit the choke sign. He looked at Reggie Miller when he did it, which was pretty cool. I think it was. I'm sure Knicks fans didn't love that. And then, but Andrew Nembhard in overtime, he scored 7 of the Pacers' 13 points in overtime. The Knicks, went up by 4 relatively quickly. Andrew Nembhard finally got both feet behind the 3-point line in the corner. He hit a 3 to cut it down to 1 just to kind of keep the Pacers in it in overtime because, both offenses had it humming from the start of the game. That was one of the craziest first quarters I've ever seen. But Nembhard hits a big 3 in the corner to kind of keep them in it. He gets a couple of layups. Fantastic read. He inbounds the ball to Obi Toppin. Toppin gives it back to him. Toppin rolls to the rim. He really basically slips a screen. He gives it back to him. Obi Toppin dunks it. They go up by 3, 138 to 135. And yeah, I just thought Andrew Nembhard in that overtime period was awesome. And I didn't want to leave him out of this because he was every bit as important as Aaron Nesmith and Tyrese Halliburton in terms of them winning that game. Just incredible. This Pacers team, you're not going to find a team more resilient than them. And it is incredible what we have seen from this Pacers team throughout these playoffs. And I don't throw out team of destiny because I don't really believe in destiny. I think people work hard for things and they're rewarded for it. I think tough teams are rewarded for it. And that's what this Pacers team is. And I think that when you're tough and when you stay in it and you just keep working, eventually the game pays you back. And I think that big bounce for Tyrese Halliburton on that really tough shot that he took to send it to overtime, like that big bounce felt like the game paying the Pacers back for just staying in it and continuing to work hard. Because that's who this team is at its core. Yes, they run up and down and they tire people out. And Tyrese Halliburton's annoying to a lot of people, but in their heart of hearts, they are a tough, resilient team that just doesn't quit. And when you do that, you give yourselves opportunities to have games like this and to come back and to win big games in big moments. These playoffs just continue to deliver every night. Game 2, Timberwolves and Thunder tomorrow night is going to be amazing. Subscribe. I'm going to have a Game 2 reaction video out on that. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you'll enjoy the next one as well. We're building something special here at My Take Is. So make sure you subscribe and you get all of the videos that are coming your way. Thanks.